You're gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
If you shave your cooch, but not your booty hole, is that the same as a mullet?
My tongue out her ass and left. I'm on TV! Oh shit! First cops, now this? Oh.
Well, good morning, my beautiful people. It is Thursday morning and we have a lineup for you. 。 Today we are going to be talking about Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers and the 3 a.m. car. It is up for debate and a lot of dispute related to that particular item when it comes to the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, he disappeared when he was 15 on February 26, 2024, and he disappeared and vanished into thin air inside his locked home where he was residing with only his mother this particular evening. There's been a lot of controversy with the mom and her husband and a lot of the statements that they have said since coming out to the public about their missing child. Things don't make sense, and we've been comparing their statements to other convicted murderers' statements.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody's going to have their own opinion on anything like this.
Everybody has an opinion.
No matter what anyone's personal opinion is.
People are people, and they have their opinions.
And they sound eerily similar to a few of them. We also have a 1:30 p.m. daily breaking news updates for you on the Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories channel, and I pray to see each and every one of you guys over there supporting that channel as we talk about other breaking news. We have 3 major topics that we're going to be discussing on the other channel and diving into a couple cases, which I said I wasn't going to do on that channel, but there is a case that I'm interested in covering. So I hope you all meet me over there. God bless each and every one of you. And remember, you will never influence the world by trying to be like it. We try each and every day to make sure that our audience is well aware of all the breaking news and updates and twists and turns in the cases that we are covering. And we need your support across all of our channels. So please don't forget to go and subscribe to all of the Bullhorn Betty channels here on YouTube, on TikTok, X, Facebook, multiple groups on Facebook that we run for our true crime work. So please get out, sub up to these things, support the Bullhorn Betty channel, and support other like-minded content creators such as Justin For All, Smiley's World, Gypsy, Mr. and Mrs. E. And there is a plethora of other ones out there. Josh the Lab, the Interview Room. It's a Crime. We have a lot of good content creators that are focused on the victim and the truth. Let's get going. God bless each and every one of you, and our mission is to bring Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers home safely. And if we cannot accomplish that, we want to make sure those that harmed him are met with justice. God bless. Good morning, everyone. Thursday is here. You are on the Bullhorn Betty channel. So we speak a lot louder over here. We're a little bit more determined, and we are waking the people up this morning. So wake up, and if I'm too loud, turn your volume down. We have a lot to go over just with the 3 a.m. car with Sebastian Rogers' story. And that is credit to Mob Crew. He's kind of taken the forefront on the analysis of the vehicles. And we're kind of over there, constantly waiting with bated breath to find out if there's any new information that he has been able to derive out of these videos. A lot of the videos that he possessed, many of us here on these streets do not possess. And if you guys are a friendly content creator and it's okay to share those with me, please consider sending those over so I can analyze them as well. I don't have access to them. I haven't, talked to people in the community outside of just a few people early on in the case. And so therefore, I don't have access nor the connection with some of the people in the area. So I would definitely, if you guys have the ability to get me copies, please get those over to me. We just want to tell Chris at the Mob Crew, thank you so much for your dedication to this specific topic and trying to understand what happened the night that, or the early morning hours when Sebastian was allegedly walked out of his home, which very few of us, at least on this channel, believe that to be the case, especially in light of March 4th. If we had our suspicions prior to March 14th, our suspicions were definitely heightened on March 14th. That was the day that Nick Barris had released the lights video, and then another leaked video showing those lights going to an unknown vehicle. And that has been very, very, very concerning for many of us. We do have just a couple one little cute thing to talk about, and it's my beautiful Delilah. There's Delilah. If you guys watched, let's see if I can get this. Will it go down? There. No, it never goes down when I get this. It always goes back up. Let's see if we can keep it there. There she is. Mommy is working on, and I got to tell you, I love this rack thing. I was able to pull literally out all of my serving dishes out of my hutch and was able to put it in this thing, which is the name of the game for me. I have no storage in this house. And so while I was working, Delilah was managing. She was making sure all the screws went into the right area. She was whining for me. If you guys watch the video, you'll hear her crying. That's how I was feeling as well. She was very helpful in making sure and overseeing the project. So we want to give our crime fighting dog Delilah a round of applause for being such a great little girl and a wonderful manager. I got to tell you, I have the best manager in the business. I really do. I have the best manager in the business. And there you have her. There you have her. So now it's starting to roll up a lot on me. It's starting to roll up on me. But she is such a cutie pie, isn't she? She's such a cutie pie. She does melt my heart. I got to tell you, she melts my heart. Before we get too far into this, we already have 161 people in chat. If you have, if you're here and you watch us daily, whether you like us or not, you should be giving us the thumbs up because we're taking up some of your time, are we not? And why would you be here if you do not like the content on this channel, which is just mind-blowing to me in and of itself. But I digress, right? We're here. We are waking up. We are still focused on Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. We do have several other cases that are starting to rear their ugly head, and we've got to start getting on those and discussing those. Just to let you know what our run-up is, let me put this up here. What our run-up is for this afternoon's programming. We talked about the man that unalived his girlfriend and her son. We're learning that that is his son, not her son. And this kind of is giving a little spin, a little bit more of a spin than we originally had thought. We let you guys know that the man was arrested shortly away from the home, but he was arrested at 9:30 a.m. in the morning. And that story is, is really, really devastating. We also have an update on Shadiksha Kunaki. We have an update on that. And the case that we are going to start diving into is Nikki Chang. Nikki Chang, I've been watching this. This is McCain. Many of you guys know the last name of McCain. And Nancy Grace did a piece on it yesterday. I personally have been monitoring this case for any updates on her because I kind of had a suspect in mind, obviously her husband. And it was from a lot of different things. But more importantly, she was going to be testifying against him in a domestic violence case before she disappeared. So I already had a primary person of interest already in that. And of course, we're diving in because just because he looks good for it doesn't mean he is good for it. So now you've got to open it up to look at anybody that she had come into contact with. And I'm working on that now. But this is a case that I feel is heating up. She's a beautiful woman that disappeared, and her family in the press conference, you can really garner a lot of body language and unspoken words there. And so we're going to be diving into that at 1:30. If those things are stuff that interest you, in addition to other breaking news cases that are just one-offs, if those cases interest you, please go. It's already set up right now. It's on Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. Go over there, hit the notification button. We will be starting promptly at 1:30 this afternoon, and definitely would love, love, love to see all your beautiful faces over there learning about other a new case. And the reason why I'm doing this is because we're here for true crime. We're victim focused on this. It doesn't matter if our victim's a child or an adult. They get the same type of attention when we dive into the cases. They get the same tenacity and passion because they're cases that I handpick that I want to cover. And when I handpick them and want to cover, because I feel I understand my audience. Louisa, that just scared the bejeebers out of me. Is somebody at the let me just be right back. I'll see if anybody's at my front door. There might be somebody at my front door. I apologize about this. Somebody at the door, or are you just barking at the wind? I don't hear you continue to bark. Okay, we'll leave it at that. So good morning, Lakeitha. Hopefully I said your name right. If I didn't, please help me pronounce it correctly. It is a pet peeve of mine to speak to people incorrectly. I like to say their names properly. So if I did not say it right, please inform me. Karen, it's nice to see you. Izzy girl, Oma's up in the house. Little orange man. I got 2 little orange men outside my front door. They've adopted me, okay? They've adopted me for years. I stopped feeding them like 2 years ago. They still come around every single morning to tell me good morning and to get their little heads patted. And the only reason I stopped feeding them is because it just started with Precious, which was originally JLR, and that was coined by Olivia because he was the one that fed this cat, and this cat never stopped coming around. Well, it's the neighbor across the street of me's cat, and that's when we were talking, she told me the cat's name. That's how I know it's Precious, and that's why we changed her name to Precious instead of JLR. So we have Precious, and then we have another cat that I call Boris. I'm sure he goes by a different name, but he is the really fat, fluffy, orange and white cat, and he's a sweetheart. But Precious likes Delilah a lot more than Boris likes Delilah. But they're both 2 orange cats that I have every morning come out and say hi to me. Precious will literally jump in front of a car if I'm walking out of the house. So I'm always cautious walking around out of the house. I don't know why that cat loves me so much, but the cat does. The cat does. So tell little orange man I said hi. The real me too. Brenda Sue's up in the house. Panda Bear's mom. It's nice to see you. The real me too. And all of our beautiful mods. Please don't forget to tell our beautiful mods thank you for all of their work and dedication to making sure that you have an enjoyable chat experience. It's not me, it is them. So when the trolls come, they whack a troll, they get them out of here so you don't have to listen to their nonsense. So we always want to give our mods an applause. And this is their song. Because they're popping and locking. They're popping and locking. They're popping and locking, all right? So it's nice to see you. Leslie, keep it real. It's nice to see you, my love. Mama Bear is up in the house. Our beautiful Sonia. It's nice to see you, Melanie. It's nice to see you, Mr. and Mrs. Car Guy. Hey, Frank. Who else do we have? I'm kind of up pretty high. I didn't realize I didn't mean to go up that high. Tina, it's nice to see you. Smiley's World is up in the house. Thank you, my love, for everything you do. And guys, don't forget to put stop signs. If you see any of the E family in here, Auntie E, Mrs. E, Mr. E, please make sure you get my attention. I'd really appreciate that. If they come into the chat. I have forgotten something. Carol, it's nice to see you. Hope floats. Hey, hey, hey. Frank, it's nice to see you. Stephanie, it's nice to have you here. Me and you. Cecilia, good morning. I'm late. Hello. You're never late on the Bullhorn Betty channel, because we reiterate a lot of the stuff from the front throughout the show. So no matter what time you come into the show, you can get an update. And you know what else you can always do? If you're coming in here and you're kind of confused as what's going on, just let us know that you're confused. My mods will reach out to me, or they'll start explaining some stuff in the chat to get you caught up to snuff. Tina, it's nice to have you. Carol, who else do we have? I said hi to Smiley's World. And I want to give a big shout out to all of the good content creators that keep their channel victim focused. I know there are so many to name, but I feel like we should start naming people, because I think people need places to go to get their content. And I think by only focusing on the hate squads that are attacking us daily is not doing our audience justice, because at the end of the day, they're not here for the drama. They are here truly for the victims and information related to their cases. So I think it's time for us to start broadcasting those channels by name, so people can start funneling their viewership over to better channels and get off of this drama fueled money grab, you know? Unicorn Indiana, it's nice to see you, love. I hope you're doing well. Big hugs and kisses to you. Forever Nikki's mom, it's nice to see you up in the house. Good morning. I think I said hi. Sorta Morta's up in the house. It's nice to see you, love bug. Forever's Nikki's mom gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. If you received your gifted Bullhorn Betty membership, don't forget to tell Forever Nikki's mom thank you and welcome to this crazy crew we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. And we always never want to forget to thank Justin for his voice, right? This came off of Amazon, I presume. We'll have to talk to Brown Eye Girl. And when I got it, it was the first time, it was like right after the first time I saw the chicken party on Justin For All's channel. And I hit it and I'm like, Chris! Chris! I remember that. I'm like, Chris! I'm like, Chris! Chris! And I'm like, okay, it's Justin. Okay, we did the official sound test here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Justin For All is officially cheating on us. He is making buttons for Amazon. I just thought I would let you guys, know that. Hopefully that's not too loud. That's coming from another sound box that's hooked up. Crazy Cat Lady, it's nice to see you, Miss Andrea. Ann is up in the house. Hey, 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 hey. Daria, oh gosh, I hope I said that that correctly. Dara, Alan. Hopefully I got that right. Have you seen the footage from Storm Drains in MS? Similar looking boy. Yes, we're going to be discussing that. I did pull up Lady Freedom's raw narrative. I got the smaller segment of that. I think it's like a 5-minute clip. But yes, I do have something that we are going to be discussing on that. Seven True is up in the house. It's nice to see you. Terry Parker, it's nice to have you here. Good morning. Good morning. Who else do we have? I think I said hi to everybody. Let me scroll down to, oh, look at this. Carol, thank you. Love it. Betty, have you seen the boy from the news in Missouri? That was the same question. Yes, and we will be going over it. I tried to slow it down. I ended up deleting the pictures. I can go into the deleted file and show you. I did try to slow it down. I did try to take a picture of it. I did try to enhance it. And every time I went to take a picture of it, I don't know what it is. It was probably because it was on my phone. I couldn't get the image non-blurry because it was moving. And when you have a blurry picture as opposed to a crystal clear picture, it just doesn't work the same. So if anybody was able to capture a high def photo of that, if you guys can get that singular photo of him, there was one where he's walking by the camera and it's kind of a side angle, but he turns his head. I like that one. But there was more of a direct shot at his entire face, um like I want to say 30 seconds later, maybe up to a minute later, that was directly across. It looks like two people, like a mom and dad, were walking toward a minivan, and he was there, but he turned around. And I need to capture that image. I would like to look at those images, but I can't get a clear enough image on my side to make heads or tails of facial features. Every time, yes, it in passing, it did look like him, even slowed down, but we need more than just that. So, and you know what? Ironically, the child was in green, which we know is Sebastian's favorite color. So, we also did a test, and I just want to caution everybody on this. We also did kind of, not a test, kind of an exercise, if you will, where I had people start paying attention to the children in their community, because even here in my community, I have seen somebody similar to Sebastian Rogers. And so I asked other people, because he's got a standard haircut, he's got, you know, the black frame glasses. A lot of children have that. And his height and the way he dresses and his shoes, they're typical 15-year-old boy stuff. And so when I challenged people to look around, they sent me a lot of emails and said, "Oh my gosh, I didn't realize how many children resemble Sebastian." Now, granted, they're not identical, obviously, but they are similar, you know, in passing. And so that's why I did that exercise for those that did participate. I can't force people to participate, right? I can only throw it out there. And if they actually do it, they do it. And usually if they do it, they send me an email and say, you know, I did this test. And yes, you know, I did notice a lot of people that resemble Sebastian. And so that was the exercise I was trying to do, because we have to remember, we can't just, you know, litter our entire feeds with lookalikes on here. You got to understand, a lot of people don't like their children being debuted in front of millions and millions of people when they live a very quiet, humble life, right? And a lot of these people, because we're searching for it, we throw a lot of stuff right into the internet wanting people to look, because we're looking for a boy. So it's understandable. I'm not knocking anybody for it. But I also want people, the whole purpose of the exercise is because we're putting a lot of children that aren't involved in this case up on social media in front of tens of thousands of people. And so I wanted to caution people on that. But this particular one is very similar, almost as similar as the boy in North Carolina. That boy was very, very, very similar to Sebastian. So much so, his own father couldn't, it was so similar, he wanted answers. They did find the lady, they did find the boy, they did confirm that boy was not Sebastian Rogers. So that was, you know, it was a good lead. It was a legitimate lead. And it's one that should have probably been called in a little sooner. But at the end of the day, it wasn't him. And let's face it, it looked like him. We know that. We know that. All right. I got my mic right where my hand is, right here. So if I'm too loud, let me know. If I'm too soft, let me know. I'd rather be louder where you guys can turn your volume down than too soft where you can't hear it. I might have it up too high. So there we go. Let's try that. Lady Dragon, it's nice to see you. I saw Kim G up in the house. Barb, it's nice to see you as well. Good morning. Gypsy, good morning. Who else do we have? Kelly East, it's nice to see you, Lovebug. I think I got through everybody. Peggy, Ann, Detective Whiskers, it's nice to see you. Brandon E, it's nice to have you as well. Dee's Mystery Obsessed, good morning. Rebecca, good morning. I think I said Dawn. I don't think I said hi to you. So good morning, Dawn. River is up in the house. Astrology for the Mystics. Hey, babes. It's nice to see ya. I hope you're doing well. Thank you. Thank you. Stephanie showing some love. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button on your way in. Brenda Davis, if I didn't say hi specifically to you, hey, hey, hey. I think that does our roll call for today. If I missed any of you, I am truly, truly sorry about that. Thank you, Panda Bear's mom, saying Sebastian's army. Let's bring him home. Amen to that. Did I see Pussy Willow Pendercat? I do. Good morning, love bug. I hope you are doing well. Our brown-eyed girl is up in the house. You can't see me. It's nice to see you. And I don't know if Abigail is watching on. I know I always bypass Abigail, and I don't know why. I think it's just one of those names. So I just wanted to have a shout out to Abigail. It's nice to see you. Hopefully you're in the chat, but if you're not and you're watching on replay, we're always thinking of you as well, love bug. So I hope you're having an amazing day. There is one not content creator. There's one of our subscribers in this chat that has been, hey, Outer Banks, Camille, Marianne, it's nice to see you. Good morning. That has it, not that all haven't. You guys have all been a huge part in helping in the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case. But Lisa B. Always is the one that kind of focused us on the idea. And it made sense, and we have definitely agreed with it, that it felt like Sebastian's mom and her husband were trying to discipline Sebastian into normalcy. So if you guys are wondering why she sounds so familiar, is because she has been an active and has played an active role in helping in understanding the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case and sending information, as many of you guys have. But I thought this was interesting, and she sent this to me early this morning. And it said, I just thought of something about the initial call made to Chris on February 26, 2024 by Katie. The call was connected or Katie lied, or disconnected. The call was either disconnected or Katie lied. Katie claimed Chris three-wayed law enforcement, which he could not have done if he was on the original call initiated by Katie. Either the initial call was disconnected, or Katie made a three-way call, or Chris made the initial call. Three-way calls must be made by the initiator of the call. We've been duped starting with this initial phone call. And what this comes out, what I think she's referring, and I see her in the chat. So Lisa, you're probably going to have to correct me if I have this, your if I have this incorrectly with the statement I'm about to make. So I think this comes with, we all know that according to the mom and her husband, which allegedly wasn't there, but seems to know all the details of this case, which again blows my mind for somebody that hasn't been there, but knows everything that was going on when he wasn't there. Doesn't make sense, but I digress. There was, we learned that at the beginning, we heard all the interviews, and we were told by the mom and her husband, lying snakes, and I'm going to say that, lying snakes. Where is it? No surprise. Come on. There we go. Lying snakes. That when they realized he was gone, they immediately called law enforcement, because that's what parents are supposed to do. Those were almost the verbatim statements right out of Mr. Proudfoot's mouth. And then we learned that the call actually didn't come in to law enforcement until some 30 minutes later. 30 minutes later is when the call came in to Sumner County. And the call was recorded at around 6:33 in the morning. And I don't know if it was Smiley's World or not. Smiley, this might be something that you have to corroborate in here, but I know it was on somebody's interview with them. And he said something like, I called three-way, Katie was too, now this is not verbatim, this is just kind of, so to speak, type of thing. But what we had learned was, according to Chris, he initially made, and it's not a 911 call, it is a call to the non-emergency dispatch line because they didn't feel that, see, they just thought they were going to be handed a piece of paper and their child was missing and everything would be kosher from there, which is not what happened. But he calls the law enforcement by whatever means through this non emergency line, according to their statements that they've made public on interviews, is Chris was the initiator, allegedly. Chris was the initiator of this three-way call with law enforcement, but the one kicker that was stated, and this is where this, I think this confusion comes in, is that in one of those interviews, he talks about having to get off the phone and basically leaving Katie and the sheriff's office on the phone together. Yes, I thought he called. Yep. And but in one of the other interviews, he said that he was talking until, whenever, and then he had to get back to work. So he disconnected. That's what he's told people, which, one way or another, it's a lie, because when you initiate, again, this is another something that all of you guys can verify on your own. A three-way call. If you are the initiator of that three-way call and you hang up the phone, all calls at that moment are hung up on because you were the middleman. Okay. So when you disconnect, it disconnects all of them. So if that statement was true, where Chris had to get back to work and hang up the phone and wasn't on the phone the entire time, then there's no way he could have logically made that three-way call. That means that the hysterical mom would have had the wherewithal to call the non-emergency line. So do we know one way or another? We don't. But what we can deduct from this is no matter how you look at it, someone is lying about that phone call. Not that the phone call took place. We know it did because we've got confirmation from law enforcement. The call came in at 6:33. The debate is over who actually made that non-emergency call. Was it Katie or was it Chris? Because Chris is indicating he's the one that called, but he's also the one that indicated he was the first to hang up. So those two things can't possibly make sense. I'm doing a three-way with you and Sonia. I hang up. It ends the call. Exactly. The only way it wouldn't end the call is in this theory where Smiley has up, where she's the instigator of the call. She reaches out to Sonia. They're talking, about the case, and they say, "Oh, Betty might know something. Let's give her a call." And Smiley says, "Okay, let me get her on three-way." So Smiley initiates the call to me and then merges those two calls. So Sonia, her, and I are on the same phone call. Now, Smiley's world is the one connecting us. So she's here, and one's down here, and one's down here, right? So she's the connector. This is Smiley. My fingertips are Smiley. When she hangs up, those calls go away. Now, if it was Sonia that initiated the call to Smiley, and Sonia initiated the call to me, and say Smiley now has to go, she can simply hang up the phone and me and Sonia will still be on the phone. And likewise in hers, where she's the top, where Smiley is the top, I'm here and Sonia's here. If I were to hang up, she would still be on the phone with Sonia. Get it? Okay. But if Smiley hangs up, we both drop off. Okay. So there's the debate over the three-way calling. There's the debate over the information. We have yet again more conflicting information that doesn't make sense to the average Joe. And that comes to that morning call to report Sebastian missing. Very confused. Also, the call the night before, and this is something that I have a problem with. The night before, the very last call she made was to Chris Proudfoot. The very first call she made in the morning was to Chris Proudfoot. There's something to be said about that. There's something to be said about that. So thank you for that email. It is definitely interesting. We covered the case of Sumner County as well as other counties in Tennessee when we started hearing people were being what did you say, Smiley? Hold on, let me read some of these things real quick. Katie can't call Chris and be on the phone with Chris's 911 call. Yeah, she can. I've had, I've called in, for example, I have two people that I work very, very closely with on a case. Okay. And I called into one person while they were on the phone with another person, and they were just able to merge my call right in. So it, it really comes to the person that's initiating that call. They're the one that has the control over the three-way. But I know that I have personally, while somebody was already on the phone with somebody, initiated a call to them. And when they put me on hold with the other party and spoke to me and said, "Hey, I'm on the phone with the other party," and I'm like, "Well, that's great because this information you both need." And within 2 seconds, I was merged in with both people, and that was from me actually calling into that person, but it was still the same pyramid because the person I called into is the controller of that three-way call. And when they hang up, both calls hang up because we had a situation where one of the parties had to answer the call, and they were the initiator of the three-way call, and they had this elevator music on hold, and we're trying to have a conversation, and it was so annoying. And the person's probably in my chat or watching replay right now. And it was so annoying and so loud while we're trying to have this conversation that we opted to hang up on the initiator of the call. And then I called the person and we had a conversation. And when they called back in, they were able to be merged into that conversation. And then they did it again. But this time we were able to kick them when they had to answer the phone and had that horrible elevator music on hold. We were able to kick them and force them to call back without disconnecting our call because now the other person was the facilitator of the three-way. So you can have, it just matters who merges the call. Whoever is responsible for merging the call is the peak of this, right? So they're here. Anybody that initiates the three-way are here. So we were told Chris initiated it, but he hung up the phone first. There's no way that could happen. Now, if I misunderstood that, wrong person. Where are you? Where are you? I just saw you. There it is. One down. I'm blind. Katie can't call Chris and be on the phone when Chris calls 911. If she calls Chris and Chris puts her on hold and dials 911 and then merges the call, they should be able to do that. But that's the only way. There has to be a facilitator of the three-way call, and that facilitator of that three-way call, as soon as they hang up, all other parties are automatically hang up. That's my understanding. Thank you so much. Mama Bear, maybe that's why she stumbled around her words when speaking about that while at the table with Sebastian Pick in the background, when Sebastian says, "Unfortunately, there's nothing to see here." Well, that's been his statement the entire time, but clearly there is something to see here because a year ago he was saying, "Oh, this is just a runaway kid. They will find him, and he won't know what to do with all the friends he's going to have because of this thing." We're past a year, okay? We're past a year. Cut it out, knock it off. This doesn't happen. Kids don't go poof in the night. So clearly, it's not just as simple as a child running away, as the stepfather would have loved for us to believe. Clearly, that's not the case. And if it was the case then, or theorized at that point a year ago, well, we're a year further, and there's been no hide nor hair of this child. Not one eyewitness has ever panned out, and they have found the people. So it's not like these, oh, well, we can't find them. We need some more information. No, they've went out and looked at the people, made contact with these people we have sent these sightings to, sent them to other law enforcement to have them go out to the people's houses and confirm one way or another whether they're Sebastian or not. And they're not. They're not. So this is going to be, that's why whenever things, because I feel like I have a good handle on what happened, and it makes it very, I'm very skeptical of any sightings, but I'm very welcoming of any sightings as well. All right, guys. So now we're going to go to the story that I was discussing. And this was about a bunch of arrests going on, unlawful detainments of people under the guise of them being drunk, and then come to find out they're not drunk. Okay, there are specific guidelines, and I don't understand why one state, but this is a state we're having problems with that we know needs better resources, lots more money. Bill, fund law enforcement, give them more money, let them open up public information officer positions, support more training of law enforcement in the state of Tennessee. Like I have been, and I'm not doing enough with Bill Lee. I'm just not. And there's so much more that needs to happen. But right now we have officers that are arresting innocent people. Not surprising. I'm just saying. Not surprising. I personally know somebody that's been arrested for not breaking the law, but not for a DUI. For some boo. Oh, I got a button for that.
Warning, bullshit alert.
Just saying. Okay. So this is one kid many people have, by the way, put on my desk. This was something that was sent to me by 4, 5, 6 of you people. When it comes to these unlawful detainments and arrests, and this one is not very shocking, okay, because it's also an autistic boy. So that tells us that these people, especially law enforcement, specifically in Sumner County, are need to be more well aware of autism and the people that have it and the reactions of people that have it. Ignorance is not an excuse in law enforcement. It's not an excuse for defendants. It damn sure shouldn't be an excuse for law enforcement. Willful ignorance, that's another issue in and of itself.
Yes. Okay, so that's the parents of an autistic Sumner County man who's become the...
There's an autistic child right there. I want to know, I'm big on abuse, and I'm a big on child abuse, but let's talk about adult abuse. It is my opinion that anybody that arrests an autistic child, they need to have different, that there is an ADA element to this, okay? Americans with Disabilities element with this that I feel is also violated. People that have disabilities have rights, okay? And it's really sad. Now, we've seen this. This is a stain on Tennessee across the state, okay? These arrests, these DUI arrests that are proven to be sober drivers. This means that law enforcement's doing something wrong to have this many cases over this. It's like, oh, you moved a little bit. You're not standing straight. Oh, there couldn't be any medical reasons for you not standing straight. Listen, I have no hearing in one of my ears. My equilibrium is off. I remember when an officer came to my elementary school. I remember the officer's name. His name was Nordsky, and he was one of the students. He was a volunteer fireman that ended up getting into the sheriff's office, and it was now out there on the roads. And I remember I was 5 or 6 years old when we had, when you bring your parents to class to talk about their professions, like I can't remember the name of the day. It's been 40 years. Okay. But at the end of the day, I remember this very specifically because I raised my hand. I wanted to do the sobriety test, right? And so he was going to use me as an example for the sobriety test. Now, mind you, I was 5 or 6 years old. I've had hearing problems, equilibrium problems. I used to walk at an angle because of my equilibrium. Believe it or not, when you have hearing problems, you do have equilibrium problems. This is something that they don't want to acknowledge. I did the sobriety test. I could not walk a straight line at 6 years old. I remember being embarrassed. That's why I remember the officer's name. I remember feeling humiliated, but he was very kind about it in my kindergarten class, by the way. And I remember him saying, normally they don't walk like that. He's like, normally we would arrest somebody for walking like that. Like, I remember the spectacle, and I remember people laughing at me, again, solidifying this memory in my mind. It was a very specific memory. It was one that I had never experienced before. And I was 5 or 6 years old, like I said, and I could not walk a straight line then. So there are reasons, medical reasons, for people that can't walk a straight line that law enforcement does not want to acknowledge. And if you can't walk a straight line, forget it. This kid didn't even smell like alcohol and could not walk a straight line and could not stand up because, let's face it, people also have back problems. I'm 45 years old and I cannot stand for hours on end. And when I do stand for hours on end, it's usually with a handful of ibuprofen or Aleve. And when I don't have ibuprofen or Aleve, or it's in the middle of the night when I've been walking or been driving so long, I'm leaning against my car to hold my ass up. And apparently and allegedly, by doing that, you must be drunk. You must be drunk. Now, mind you, I used to get drunk a lot. I used to do a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of substances in my 20s, arrested a lot of times in my 20s, had toxic relationships, violence, everything. I would have never, if I was in Tennessee, I'd have been in jail just because I can't stand up and being completely sober. Listen to this. This is bothersome for me. Very bothersome.
Latest sober driver to be arrested for a DUI.
It's the new development in our sobering problem investigation. Innocent Tennesseans charged with a crime they didn't commit.
So these parents tell
innocent Floridians charged with crimes they didn't commit.
Our chief investigative reporter, Jeremy Finley, their son's disability was not taken into account when deputies suspected him of driving drunk.
Just moments after 21-year-old Charlie Hatch is pulled over, the rapid-fire questions start.
You have anything to drink tonight?
No, sir.
At youth group?
No, sir.
Before youth group?
No, sir.
After youth group?
No, sir.
Nothing in the car?
No, sir. You may be a bit impressed how quickly he answers, but soon he has confusion.
Why are we stumbling? Why are we slurred of speech? You used your truck for balance and we're stumbling a little bit.
Because my legs are tired from the 12-and-a-half-hour shift.
Even though
12-and-a-half-hour shift. That wasn't good enough for this officer.
Hatch explains he just left youth group after working all day. Sumner County deputy.
Youth group. A youth group. A church youth group. Isn't one of the things about intoxication is that you reek? That it's in your blood, therefore coming out of your mouth? So where's the scent of alcohol?
Deputy Gabriel Yap has his doubts about his sobriety. The warrant reads after a Hendersonville officer saw Hatch cross the double yellow line.
Oh, and I guarantee that on this report, this man looks drunk because they are trained how to fill out these reports to make their arrest hold and solid. I've seen law enforcement put stuff in that they don't know about because they want to strengthen their case. And this is not just immune to Tennessee because my experience is here in Florida.
Line 6 times, Yap notes Hatch had slurred speech and had to restart the walk and turn test.
So slurred speech is not only the indicator of alcoholism or being under the influence. Slurred speech can be from speech impediments, can be from autism, can be from just being what? Tired.
Plus, Deputy Yap had...
And let me just use this as an example. You guys have seen me beat tired on here. You guys have seen me just fumble. How many times have I said I can't even talk? I can't even talk. But this is all I'm drinking, okay? It's coffee. And this is the other thing, water. And I still can't speak some days because my brain is moving 1,000 miles a minute, or I'm just stinking exhausted. But hey, if you can't walk straight and you have slurred speech, whether or not you have the scent of alcohol on you or any proof that you even had a cocktail, so that's what I call alcohol cocktails. It doesn't matter if it's a beer, wine, a spirit drink. It doesn't matter. I call it a cocktail. So if you ever hear me, it's not referencing to any specific alcohol. It's just referencing alcohol in general in my vocabulary, just to let you know. And so no scent of alcohol, nothing ever even indicated on their report that there was a scent of alcohol, just that he had slurred speech and couldn't walk straight. And he explained that he was on his feet for 12 and a half hours and went to a youth group. Just saying. Seems like they keep getting it backwards. And I just keep wondering why.
Asked Hatch a question that's required before a field sobriety test is given.
We have any medical problems? No, sir. None? Nothing wrong with our eyes? No, sir.
The end result? Handcuffs.
Right now, you're being placed under arrest for driving under.
I'm not sure an autistic child would think that they have a medical issue. Let's look at the question that was asked here.
Given.
We have any medical problems?
Do you have any medical problems? Is autism a medical problem or condition? Because there's been debates that we've even had on this show here. Let me go up here. I have fusion in my back plus arthritis. I can't walk straight to save my life. Exactly. I've got a degenerate disc disease and scoliosis. My whole body, I sit, this is here, but my hips are over because I got scoliosis. So I don't ever sit straight. So it begs to question what type of training are these officers getting, because they're focusing on things that people have reasons to have: slurred speech, not being able to stand for long periods of time. But again, they asked him do you have any medical problems? And I don't know if that would be considered a medical problem. Do they have any disabilities? Would have been the more appropriate question, not medical problems. I don't think autism is a medical problem, but he does have a disability. And if a child is autistic, I would have to think that they're answering the question that they were asked. Do they have medical problems? He's a healthy boy. He has a disability. So I would like that clarified as well.
No, sir. None? Nothing wrong with our eyes? No, sir.
The end result?
And ask them, is there anything wrong with his eyes? Not a medical diagnosis. It has medical diagnosis, so it should qualify. Yeah, but would a young kid consider himself having medical problems because he's autistic, or would he think that's more of a disability? It seems to me that would fall under the ADA. You know, but I don't know. I think it was a wrong question, and they were asking the wrong questions. Is there anything wrong with your eyes? That was the medical problem that they were asking him about, is his eyes. Not whether he is autistic or can stand for a long time. People are not required under the ADA to disclose their medical conditions or diagnoses with any law enforcement officer. That is their private medical information.
Handcuffs.
Right now, you're being placed under arrest for driving under the influence.
But here's where the events of that night take a turn.
He shows so many signs of impairment.
Hatch's parents, Andy and Andrea, arrive, telling something Deputy Yap hadn't heard.
He has autism. So
Does he?
Yes. In Charlie's mind, that's not a disability.
There it is. There it is. In his mind, they're asking questions to him. And maybe they should have defined it a little better. Maybe this is a training point that needs to be made. This is an embarrassment. One of many.
So does he? Yes. In Charlie's mind, that's not a disability.
I asked if he had a disability. He said no. I asked if...
He's not going to tell you.
It turns out Hatch had been diagnosed with autism since he was little and is high functioning. He also lives with anxiety and ADHD. So in stressful circumstances, he has trouble following directions.
Oh, you mean there is a plausible explanation? This happened on October 29th, 2024. This was 8 months, over 8 months, 8 months and 3 days after the Sebastian Rogers case. And this is in Sumner County, where autism was hyper focused on in the Sebastian Rogers case and continues to this day. And we still have Sumner County law enforcement officers arresting high functioning autistic children as drunks. We got some problems. Again, this is an embarrassment, not because Bullhorn Betty put it on the show, but because WSMV did. Just saying. All right. Many people want to know about the child walking, and this is coming from Lady Freedom Raw Narratives. And I got to say, I really do like Lady Freedom, and I know that anybody that comes out here to try to do good and try to bring the truth on the, about these cases are met with the same people, as always, to attack them. And it was, I had received an email allegedly about Lady Freedom. And let me tell you something. The minute I saw it, I didn't care. I thought it was from somebody trying to tell on her, tattle to me about her. And then it was actually, she was just sending me stuff showing what's going on about her. And I didn't know her real name because I know her by Lady Freedom. And so I ended up jumping her shit. I'm like, what does this have to do with it? Don't send me this kind of crap and blah, 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 blah. And then I realized it was Lady Freedom that was sending it to me. I'm like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to yell at you. I thought you were somebody, tattling on you. And she's like, no, this is what's been sent out about me, which is totally untrue. And this, that, and the other. And it's like, I'm just like that. Don't come here sending me stuff, any type of stuff about people on here trying to advocate for a child. I don't care about their background. I don't care about their history. I don't care about anything other than whether they're trying to seek the truth and trying to stay on point and advocate for a victim. I could care less what walk of life they come from, because my walk of life doesn't look good on paper, but I can tell you it has made me one of the strongest women that I know. And so we all always try to strive for that with other women. You guys know women are my passion in this world. Empowering women, no matter who they are, where they come from, what side of the political aisle they're on. Even though I am very strong in my political leanings, I help everybody, every person that wants their voice and wants their voice heard. I'm happy to help them. And it's very upsetting that people that are here for the good are constantly the ones being attacked by this band of misfits and felons and quite frankly drug addicts. They do this for profit. Where does their profit go? Our profit goes to the kids. Our profit goes to the victims. Our profit goes to bringing these stories to you guys. Their profit goes up their nose and in their lungs. That's where their profit goes. They don't ever help these victims. They don't ever help these children. As a matter of fact, they try to find the dirtiest, grimiest person that's most likely, the person of interest, and they support them. That's their MO, supporting the criminals. So anybody that's seen over there, the way I look at it, you support criminals and you support the mayhem and the chaos that these channels inflict on these cases. And I, to be honest with you, I judge people. So I look very low on people that are over there, right? Because to be honest with you, I don't care what they have to say. Nothing that comes out of their mouth is ever true. So I can't trust them. Why would I ever? And not only that, but when I listen to them, how disgusting I feel. Like I feel like I need a shower by the time I've done listened to them. Like a freaking shower. It's so disgusting and slimy. It doesn't make me feel good. When I listen to their shows, I don't feel empowered. I feel gunked up with everybody else's bullshit, quite frankly. But this is a shout out to Lady Freedom Raw Narratives. Thank you so much for being dedicated to this aspect of this case.
Everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is Lady Freedom here, coming at you with another raw narrative. Today I was sent a photo that was a possible Sebastian sighting in Bridgeton, Missouri on March 15th, 2025. Now this is footage from the news station there, Channel 5, and it's going over the storm damage that happened in that area. And I'm praying for everyone who has experienced storm damage or who has had to weather out the storm. It can be very, very scary. But I wanted to do a brief comparison just to show you all what I was shown. And I went to the original source of the news video that it came from. Be sure to stick around till the end of the video to see what I think. Let's watch.
To Brent Solomon, who is live in Bridgeton for us tonight. And Brent, what are you seeing out there?
Now, like I said, I did see the image that they're going to show, and I do, in all fairness, believe that it should be looked into because there are similarities. I just couldn't capture a good enough photo that I could blow up and enhance and analyze to see if the facial features are more similar than the one in North Carolina, and if so, then we have to start looking at, could it possibly be Sebastian? This child looked very happy and well-rounded and looked like he knew where he was going. I don't know if that would be the demeanor of Sebastian Rogers being away from his family. But again, we don't know where Sebastian is. So we have to have hope that he's out there somewhere, and we have to pray that he's still alive, happy, and healthy. You know, that's where we want to be. We know we're up against a lot of horrible statistics in this case, a lot, especially once we crossed over the 1 year milestone. The probability is awful. It's heartbreaking.
Neighbors helping neighbors, and I tell you what, folks in this community really need it right now. It's a very similar story that we're seeing in many neighborhoods right now. Down power lines, damage on homes, and tree limbs on the street. Take a look at the Pattonville Fire Department assisting in this one. We're on Benedetta and Scotch.
Benedetta and Scotch in Bridgeton, Missouri. Benedetta and Scotch. If you guys could, if somebody could grab that, one of my mods, write that down and send that to me, I'd greatly appreciate that because I'm not going to remember it when the show ends. I appreciate it. So just send it to me by email if you can, or not email, text message if you can. Thank you.
Just moments ago, I actually saw firefighters with chainsaws in hand helping to break down some of these trees. And up above, I see some electric lines that are tumbling down right now. But what I really want you to get a good look at, if we can, is this tree right here. This is on Scotch. The tree from a neighbor's home came crashing into the master bedroom of this home right here. I just spoke with a young man who tells me his grandmother lives here. Fortunately, she wasn't home at the time. She's staying in a nursing home, he tells me. But he was home along with the
see, they had it. Somebody just
friend when that tree came.
Now watch closely. This is where I slowed the.
See how blurry it is. I can't get a good photo. In this blurriness, it doesn't look like him. Okay, in this blurriness, to me, the facial features are off right here. We need somebody to get a good still of this young boy.
Video all the way down to watch.
See, blurry. The face is blurry. I don't like that. It makes it hard because facial features are important. Thank you. Whispering Winds also indicates they believe that this person is too young, and that is another thing. I don't believe that this child here is even 5'5". So don't look don't look don't think it looks like him. Not from here it doesn't. But when we watch the clearer, this is more blown up. And so I like the photo taken from further away when you have a clearer image and then use that clear image to blow it up. Here we're dealing with a moving a person, a video. Obviously, the video is focused on the house. You can see where the clearest part is the house. The blurry part is the outers of the house and the lights, and he's on the outer, so he's more blurry.
A young man crossing the street, which appears to be
Another another thing I'm noticing with his walk now, although slow, and because it's slowed down here and Lady Freedom Raw narrative, the haircut, this side view right here could be him. I'm not dismissing this, even though in this blurriness it doesn't look like him. I'm not dismissing this at all because I watched this video from the reporting news channel, and I saw it. It was much clearer than it is here. And I can tell you that it had a lot of similarities to Sebastian. Again, I'm looking at height. The height didn't appear to be there. Again, just like good gracious, who was it that just wrote that? It was, oh good gracious, I'm sorry, I just lost it. I lost you. Too young. Where's my too young comment? Whispering Winds. Whispering Winds just had indicated the age. It appears this child is much younger. So those are some definite, issues that we need to address when it comes to this child. But this child did look very similar. Sebastian's neck is longer, I think, and the length of the neck. So there are some stuff that can't change that appears to be possibly not right. But we always want to keep our eyes open. We never know where he is or when he's going to. Does he have relatives in Missouri? I don't know. Missouri's the first time I heard of Missouri with relation to the mom or the mom's husband.
Doppelganger of Sebastian's. Now, I'm not 100% sure.
So again, a little bit blurry, but you are seeing some images. I mean, we do have a more of a wider jaw, but this person looks like it has the boy in green appears to have a pointed chin at the bottom. I don't know if, hold on, let me click on this. Right here, you see there's like a little chin right here where Sebastian's is kind of like a wide chin. This one here goes down kind of at a point right here. So there are some physical differences that I can see, but the haircut, like I said, I've seen this haircut on him before. Could this be? It is much clearer, much clearer further away. They've blown it up so you could see more of the physical features, but it causes the image to degrade a bit when you blow it up.
Or if this young man is Sebastian, he does look a lot like him, and I wanted to do a comparison so you can see that. I also wanted to point out something that I found out while I was doing some further research on
and you can go back to this new one that she put up, and you can see it almost clearer, the point on the end of the chin here. And that was one of the identifying features in that North Carolina boy that I had identified was the chin. Those are bone structure issues. Those will never be able to be changed without, surgery.
I also wanted to point out something that I found out while I was doing some further research on Bridgeton, Missouri. Bridgeton, Missouri is the second ring suburb of St. Louis, Missouri, and it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me that Sebastian would be there, but I did think it was worthy of showing, and I am going to turn in this sighting just in case. Now, I do find it odd.
Just in case, and you heard her, it's very unlikely that he would be there. It's very unlikely he would be in this Bridgeton, Missouri area. There's nothing connecting this family either side. Well, I shouldn't say that, with the exception of Seth, there's nothing connecting anybody to Missouri. And yeah, I don't know the situation, but I know he was in at one point, and it's something that Tony has talked about, I think, on Pascal's show, as well as another show about them being from Joplin, Missouri. I know they haven't been there in very, very long time. Missouri. And for somebody that hasn't been there very long, I mean, this is almost 5 hours away from Joplin. So the thought of this having anything to do with Seth also doesn't make any sense. Now, if he had family still in Missouri, which we know that that's not true, his mom's in Texas, his sister's in a different state as well. And then we have him in Tennessee. So that's kind of the dynamic there. So, Lady Freedom Raw Narratives, questioning why he would even be in this area is a good question. So there's no reason that this boy, and there's no connection to this area at all from anybody on both sides of the aisle, right? Mom, her husband, and dad.
That we see a street called Gallatin Lane right next to Bridgeton. What do you all think? Let me know in the comments. I can't.
Gallatin Lane. We're very familiar with Gallatin. So we have a sighting of Sebastian. We don't know what's going to go on. I can guarantee that the whole world has already called law enforcement in Bridgeton, Missouri to find out who this child is. I'm almost confident, at least 75% confident, law enforcement has already made connection with the family, and we are going to find out that this child is not Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. They have a very specific address to be at. They know exactly where this child came from. They can locate this child very, very quickly and the family and confirm one way or another whether it's Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers or not. But until we get that information, we won't know. But right now, we still want to be ultra, ultra vigilant in finding Sebastian and his whereabouts. So don't ever think that we're going to get a whole lot of no's, right? Until we get a yes. Think of it, we're searching for a child. Many of you guys have searched for a job, right? How many no's did you have to go through before you got the yes for the job, right? It's the same thing when it comes to looking for missing people. You've got to call them in. You've got to submit the resume, right? So you've got to call these sightings in. But there's going to be a lot of no's before we get to a yes. So don't ever deter. If you think you see him, call it in. Call it in. If you don't want to get involved, you can send it to 833-TELL-DOG. You can email it to mostwanted@manhunts.one. There's so many ways that you can get the information in and not have any part in it. Let somebody else take over, right? But make the call. Make the call. This is a child that we need to find. Make the call. If you think you see him, make the call. Don't decide one way or another. Let us pull it apart online, right? But make the call, because at the end of the day, we might get a yes, and that's where we want to be. But we have to go through all the no's, right? So this is not really the topic of conversation. Was there a sighting of Sebastian or not? It's about the 3 a.m. Clock. It's about the 3 a.m. car. When we learned about the lights video, and that was on March 14th, many people keep saying March 13th, but every time I go back and look at the day that this stuff was posted, even the first, clip for their news segment was on March 14th. Did he acquire it on March 13th? It's possible he did. But it wasn't released to the public, to us, until March 14th. And when that was immediately, Dirty Rejects, what kind of birds don't fly? Oh, Dirty Reject. Oh, did your mommy and daddy not give you enough attention as a child? Do you not show your own children enough attention? I mean, I'm just wondering because I'm flying. Woo! Woo, baby, woo! Did you not see where I was today? Did you not see where I was today? Oh, I'm so sorry. Ah, must break your heart. Must break your heart, boo-boo. Too bad that you're more focused on me than you are a missing child. I guess that goes to your direct integrity, character, and class. Just saying. And let me send you off with this little treat. Let me send you off with this little treat. I'm so sorry because we are all doing this. I'm sorry. Were we laughing at you publicly? Doesn't sound like I'm a nice person. Aww. Maybe you should call your mommy and say, "Can you please love me today?" Maybe you can stay away from Bullhorn Betty. Maybe your obsession can end if your mommy just shows you a little more attention. I'm so sorry. God rest her soul. We'll leave it at that. We already did. Don't worry, Lisa. We already did. So going into this particular case of Sebastian Rogers and this lights video, law enforcement came out and told us that it was, garbage trucks. But we know exactly when the garbage truck came in because thank you, unscrupulous PI, for letting integrity type issues out on an active case of a missing child, which is disgusting. But we know exactly when it came through. It pulled through at 5:09 because of the unscrupulous PI leaking information that is not up for public consumption. But now here it is on the Bullhorn Betty show because he's crappy at his job. And so J.E. McMurtry Disposal and Recycling answered a lot of questions related to their truck. And they have declined saying that that was their truck at 3 a.m. As a matter of fact, they say that their truck doesn't get there until around 5 a.m., i.e., the trash truck being there at 5:09 in the morning. This same unscrupulous PI, which just to let you see, we have a lot. Okay, of messages from this trash company. Lots of messages from this trash company explaining a lot, right? Explaining a lot. So we have these screenshots that show their truck and them acknowledging when their truck is going to come in to the area around 5 a.m. in the morning, right? Then many months later, we had, a month or so later, we had the neighbor, Miss Bobby, come out and kind of explain this trash truck, this alleged trash truck, and she clarified it. And as a matter of fact, she says not only that, but these lights went to an unknown car that had been sitting there for 3 to 5 minutes, and that's when the light bulb went off. We had been analyzing the lights video and the auto video, the car video, vehicle video, for a significant amount of time, and those lights that kept coming on, we couldn't figure out what it was. We thought they were floodlights. We thought they were motion detector lights. We saw the lights come on, but we couldn't make it out. And as soon as I heard that statement, I went back to that. I moved, I straightened those lights up, and you could see the silhouette of a vehicle. And that was our first time that we've been able to make heads or tails of what those lights were that popped on. We saw the lights pop on, but it was kind of sitting weird. It was almost sitting at a diagonal, and it was making it difficult to understand what we were looking at. But as soon as we flipped that straightened those lights up, you could clearly see a vehicle, brake lights, everything. And finally, the light bulb that went off. So we found those lights, and then the unscrupulous PI, after accusing this same lady and her children of kidnapping and unaliving this boy, right? He did say that. We learned that he allegedly knows, in his specific words, in his statement, the unscrupulous PI, we know who the 3 a.m. car is. C-A-R. Car. We know who the 3 a.m. car is. Lying in wait. Yes, you can't see me. Lying in wait. And so we've had a photo provided by Mob Crew. He's got his hands on the 3 a.m. vehicle that was seen in the area, and many believe that this is a sedan. I originally believed that the silhouette of the vehicle was a QX, what is it, 80 or whatever the car is, the Infinity. That's what I thought. Mob Crew has analyzed this. He was one of the first people that brought up that he believes it's a sedan. I was dismissing that because at the time he didn't do any overlays or anything like that. And that was prior to us having this leaked information from this unscrupulous PI about other vehicles, such as the Uber driver. That was not readily available to the public. And we knew that there was an Uber driver in the area, but we didn't know what time that Uber driver was in the area. And now we know with specificity, again, this goes to the integrity of this investigation being just disregarded and littered all over the internet while there's a missing child. So now we have more critical information that I am certain law enforcement didn't want out to the public, yet here we are discussing it. So we know when the Uber driver was there. Now we know when the exact time the truck was there, all because of this unscrupulous PI leaving only one vehicle only in that neighborhood unaccounted for that we, the public, know about. Maybe law enforcement knows who that vehicle belongs to and they're not saying, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we know that there was another vehicle in that area because we could clearly see lights coming from the side of the Proudfoot home through the common area that walks directly over to this car before the lights turn on. And now, this unscrupulous PI wants to step in the gung again. I will never say his name. I'm begging my other content creators that are here for this victim, do not reference this Yahoo by his name or his corporation name or whatever he's calling himself, whatever. He's an unscrupulous PI, a UTI, a UPI, whatever you would like to call him, just don't call him by his name. He does not deserve the plug. He does not deserve the plug. And I'm asking all content creators, if you do not have any respect for this man, don't plug him on your show. So we have this car that is clearly seen and observed at around 3 a.m. What was it, like 2:55, going up Kellen Lane, going up to Devon and stopping, and that is the walk from in my opinion, somebody loading up in the car. I feel like somebody was over because the dogs went to the construction site. Why would this car need to go all the way up Devon before turning around and coming back to sit on Stafford Court? I believe it was to meet somebody and pick them up and put them in that car to take them over there and sit in the car and wait, let them out, let them go in. I believe that's what happened, and that's why the dogs, that's the only thing that I can think, because we know the dogs sent over to the construction site was not Sebastian Rogers' scent. It was somebody else's scent. And it was because of the Mob Crew that reviewed the video and saw this car going up to that entrance to the new construction site, which so happened is exactly where the dogs went when they first got out. But those dogs weren't specific scent dogs. They were ground disturbance dogs. And they found ground disturbance from the area, from around their house to that construction site, so much so the dog dove into the retaining pond. The retaining pond was subsequently drained and no findings of Sebastian. So we've been looking and hunting to figure out what make and model and potentially the year of this anonymous, unknown vehicle seen in the area at the same time that we started seeing lights observed on the outside of the Proudfoot home. All of the sudden, let me just play this. I think this is, let me kick this real quick because I'm going to, it kicked my volume. So let me put reestablish. Let's stop sharing. Let's reestablish this. And this is from Hindsight. Thank you, Hindsight, for clipping this.
Huge. This gives a lot more details about the car. This is the big one. In my opinion, this is huge. This gives a lot more details about the car. So hopefully we've got some car enthusiasts and experts in the chat. But we have a pretty good idea on the make and model. But it helped all come together. So one thing I noticed right away, and let me know if you guys agree, do you notice the right tail light is much brighter than the left tail light? Almost as if it's out. And if that's true, that's huge because, you know, in an unidentified car, the biggest thing you want to
hey girl mom
try to get is some kind of a unique identifier to the car. You know, if you don't have a license plate or whatever, some kind of identifier for the car, you know, a dent, special rims, you know, something unique to the car. But yeah, does that not look like, and I'll explain why it still looks lit up like this. And this is where it gets where it makes it very unique of a car.
All right, so there. Sorry.
This is the big one.
Sorry, I can't do it when I got it.
This is the big.
When I got it up that high, that large. But you guys get it. They were. I'm having a hard time. Excuse me, believing the vehicle was at the Texas Roadhouse. I haven't seen enough. Even the information that they're speaking of. Did I just lose my? Hold on a second. Give me a second. I just lost my camera. Okay, I'm back. So I'm having a hard time believing that this car at the Texas Roadhouse is the one in their neighborhood, because we have some suspect on the green hoodie person. And that was a 2-minute conversation between vehicles where people turn their heads. We've all wanted to know what that is about. But I am from strong people. I believe that the Texas Roadhouse is a nothing burger just yet. There's nothing there that I can see. And I hear what Chris, the mob crew, is trying to, but you know, there's been a few things that I haven't agreed with the mob crew on that ended up coming out to be accurate. So it's just opinion based. But either way, opinion based or not, we do have, let me see if I can get back to where we were just at. And it was this right here. Okay. Let me play this for you guys just a little bit more and see if we can make heads or tails of the vehicle. But in just all honesty, these brake lights to me look like they're both functioning. I'm sorry, they do. Based upon that, I feel like this is a functioning brake light more so than the other one. The other one looked like it was completely out. This one, you have brake lights. So I'm just
this is the big one.
So I'm just unsure about that. There's not enough information here to satisfy my curiosity to say that this is linked to the one that was seen in the area. I don't know how it can take over a year when Ellie has had the video since 72 hours. They know who this is. So, and that very well may be true. Let me just finish reading this. They know who this is, so why haven't they gone directly to them? Makes me think they aren't going to do anything. Just because they know what they know, they may know that the mom and stepdad, or let's just take the mom and stepdad out of the equation. They may know a specific third party, right, that was responsible for this. They may have them in their eyes. They may have them in the crosshairs. But at this juncture in the case, they've got to have enough evidence to get a grand jury to indict, or have enough evidence to present at a preliminary hearing for the indictment. And, we can all know who they are. We can all know that this doesn't make sense. It is, 90% possible that it's the mom and the stepfather. We may know that. But they have to present that to a body of people with enough clarity that they can make an inference that the law enforcement is making. And I feel like that's where the hiccup is. I don't know, because they're not vocal with the public. We don't know what nugget of information they need. And if we don't know what nugget of information that they need, we might have the information in our possession, custody, and control that they need to make the case, but we don't know what's lacking in the case. We know that there's something to be had from those videos. We absolutely know there's something behind those lights that are moving. We've had our own people here on social media enhance those, and it shows something being carried, a large object thrown over somebody's shoulder, being carried out to that car at 3:00 in the morning. We have all that information. We can make those inferences, but we have to remember, in a court of law, it's beyond a reasonable doubt, not suspicion. So this makes it, because we do not have Sebastian with us. We don't know what condition he's in. We all have our assumptions about what condition he could be in. Some are good, some are not good. At the end of the day, there is something not right here, and we see stuff going on at the time this child disappeared that doesn't make us feel very good or warm or fuzzy about his condition, because it's so sneaky. It's at 3:00 in the morning. We're seeing a blob going out to a vehicle. We're seeing a larger blob carrying the blob going out to the vehicle. They have to enhance it. Do we know there's stuff behind those lights? We do, because we've had other people that don't have experience in enhancing and seeing something. We also have people that are very well versed in enhancing and blowing up the object and making us see what's behind the light. So we know that there's something that's unsavory going on behind the lights, something sneaky. And then 3 hours later, 3.5 hours later, a child's reported missing. We can make those inferences. In a court of law, it has to be beyond a reasonable doubt. Beyond a reasonable doubt. And that's what we don't have. Now, this brings us all the way to the unscrupulous PI. This is a situation where I have seen all of these messages come from the unscrupulous PI's account, but nothing is more absurd than him now alleging that it is a white truck. Let me see if I can find that. We got that one up. Oh, yeah. Oh, and by the way, don't you know that somebody else found Hiram Baltazar, and he is yet again taking credit for somebody else's find. He is a despicable human being, and he spits in the face of these things, all for fake recognition. It says, on Sunday we found Hiram deceased. I wanted to express my deepest gratitude to his family for trusting me as their investigator. I'd like to see the contract. You making contact with them and saying, hey, I'm investigating pro bono. Is that okay with you? And them saying yes doesn't make you their fucking investigator. I don't know what that is. $10. I might break the Bullhorn Betty channel. Okay, $10. And that is just the God's honest truth. I can't with this a-hole. I really can't. He is so unscrupulous. He is so untrustworthy. He's such a freaking snake in the grass. And yet again, he's now saying that this is a white truck. A white truck. A white truck, from what I understand. Let's listen to this. Let me get to the truck. Hold on. Let me go to the transcript, because the reason why I'm having a hard time playing bed crime stories is because she plugs this guy by his real name, and I don't want to plug him on my channel. I just don't. I think he's unscrupulous. I think he needs to have his license taken. Okay. We're going to have to listen to UTI's name at least once. At least once. Okay. So this is what it says.
Screenshot.
It says, mob crew wants you to believe that the 3 a.m. vehicle raced through the neighborhood, dropped off kidnappers, and picked up Sebastian, or whatever his theory is. As I've said, this vehicle passes through the neighborhood daily. If it were involved, do you really think it would return the next morning on the... Yes. How many times have we seen people go back to the scene of the crime? Thank you, Willow. Thank you, Willow. How many times have we seen and known of assailants going back to the scene of the crime? So this is not only the stupidest statement I've ever heard, but one of the stupidest statements I've ever heard from a so-called seasoned PI. And again, unscrupulous. He's doing the bidding, the unlawful bidding of these people that he's trying to protect. So law enforcement has stated all vehicles are accounted for. There are days and days of footage, and this vehicle is known in the area. Attached is the screenshot. Let's look at the screenshot.
That as
Oh my goodness. What do we have here? A white truck. Now, let me go back here. Why is everything fluffing on me? I hate my internet. Okay. Let me ask you, where was the car? There it is. Let me ask you. Let me take myself off. Maybe it won't kick my audio if I do it this way. We'll see. Probably going to still kick my damn audio. Maybe that's the secret. I need to put my face back up before I change. Does that look like that? So this is the capture, the screen capture of the 3 a.m. vehicle. Right here. And lo and behold, let me take myself back off here so we don't lose we're probably going to lose it anyways. I don't trust StreamYard. Is that really what we're seeing here? So more dubious work, more intentional mis and disinformation perpetrated by somebody hired by the mom and stepfather. Why in the world do they need all these people lying for them and manipulating information if there's nothing to see over here? Why can't they just prove that they have nothing to do with it? Law enforcement doesn't believe them. How many times they've reached back out to them to clarify crap? If you heard from the very first interview Katie was on, we don't have what we need to prove where he's at. Was the word she used. Prove where he's at. That sounds like law enforcement all the way back then was pressuring them saying, well, where is he at? How do you know? They didn't have the proof. That was out of her own mouth. Proof. KP handed the audio into LE a week later from the Texas Roadhouse. Wonder if Sebastian talked about the green hoodie person or was it recorded. She made and played it in the car for that night. Never heard that before. She played what in her car? If you can send me where you learned that from, I'd greatly appreciate it. I just like seeing everything in its full context, so I understand what's being said. Sometimes my brain gets a little confused with all the information that it stores, so I may be looking left when I need to be looking right. So if you guys hear of these things I haven't heard about, if you guys could send them over to me so I can listen to them and review them and do some research on them, I'd greatly appreciate it. But what I can tell you is that the car is not a white SUV. We've never thought the vehicle in that dark was white ever, because white would have been a lot more visible on those cameras than a darker color, gray color car, something that blends in with the darkness of the area. This would, in my opinion, the vehicle was not white. I think if it was white, we would have seen that. That's why she couldn't go in the garage that night. Her dash cam would have started recording. Wow. So that kind of eliminates that garage altogether if they had the dash cam. And even if they tried to delete some of that dash cam, the law enforcement has a way to go and get it back. But we're dealing with highly trained military people, somebody that's in operational and strategic planning. That is a very big concern. That means that they were putting in strategy as soon as the call ended. He was already thinking of potentially what his next steps would have been, if the theory holds water that we believe. And right now, my top theory is something happened inside that home shortly before the call to Chris, and they were on the phone for 3 hours figuring out how they were going to handle it. After they got off the phone, I believe Chris started making his way back to the Hendersonville area by 3 a.m. They're out there cleaning stuff up and fixing everything up, i.e. the reason why there was no evidence, no scent in that house. I believe that the lack of evidence at the very beginning, and I said that from the very beginning, is the evidence, because there should be evidence where there's not. And that always implies something different than what's being stated, whether it's because they cleaned or whether it's because what they're saying didn't happen the way they're saying it. Either way, the information in and around that time is going to be very, very crucial, because I truly believe, even if we were to apply that Yahoo that likes Chris and him saying he came home at 11:30, I never believed he left his camper before 11:30. I believe he left his camper closer to midnight or 11:45, somewhere right there. So he could have that guy could have seen his truck there when he came back from the bar. And a few minutes later, after he was comfortable in his house, all drunken and everything, that car could have left. He could have went and got another vehicle from another coworker. We don't know if they had company vehicles on the St. Jude's project that he could have or had access to. We don't know. We don't know if he had a friend in that he needed to borrow the car that he gave that won't tell law enforcement that he loaned him the car. The only way they're going to find that out is through the cameras on the interstate. I don't believe in the timing he would have been able to take back roads the entire time. I truly believe he was on the interstate. I believe that there's evidence proving that Chris traveled back in the early morning hours of the 26th. So hopefully they found them. Your brain confused? Try studying finance and accounting for years, then pharmacy, then surgical tech, then data mining, then Fortune 100 company in 90 countries. Yeah, well, I've got a lot of cases, a lot of disturbance. I would much rather want to have accounting jargon in my head than the jargon I got in my head, I'll tell you that. So it doesn't make sense. And then here is from War Eagle, War Damn Eagle, as we know and love her here on this channel and this platform. Here's another little tidbit that War Eagle was able to kind of, strum up. Let me get this open. There we go. Let's view StreamYard. Okay. Was able to strum up, and let's just listen to this. I got the volume.
Its card is there. So I I just logged on a couple minutes ago, so I haven't seen the whole conversation. But I mean, I don't want to get too deep into it, but it's not somebody that lives in the neighborhood. It's a car that's there every day. I mean, listen, it's a delivery car. I don't want to say much.
It's now a delivery car. It's now a delivery car. I need to go over here to now now he's saying it's a delivery car. It's Just Lauren. Let's go over to Just Lauren. I want you guys to read this. This is what she and this is her statement when she attached War Damn Eagles video there. Oh my gosh, she says. So let's go over once more all the people out in this neighborhood at 3 a.m. according to this unscrupulous PI. Here's everything he has said so far. A person walking their dog. A kid visiting his girlfriend. A man taking out the trash. An Uber that knew it was an Uber. A construction worker. A trash truck. A dump truck, Bobby's kids, and one newspaper delivery boy, and now we have another delivery service. So, again, how many people were really up at 3 a.m. in this neighborhood? I doubt that many. I doubt that many. I think the person that was getting ready to go to the airport is one. I think the person picking up, say, Sebastian in the middle of 3 a.m. in the middle of pitch black night, I think it's another one. But I don't recall at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., or 5 a.m. before 5:09 any other car coming into that community. So we have two. Kind of ironic with a statement that was made on Elevated Truth when Chris was bragging to Elevated Truth that there were two Wi-Fis in the area, and those a-holes didn't even realize one was mine. Interesting. Interesting. So we've identified two vehicles, and there was two vehicles in the area, and one so happens to be the stepfather's. If it wasn't his truck, he was borrowing somebody's car. Those are their statements, not mine. This does make sense now, doesn't it? With that card pool, two vehicles, and he was trying to imply it was after one, or like, wait a minute, if it was they pulled it after one, there'd have been a hell of a lot more than two. But when we start breaking this evening video down, guess what? There was only two vehicles in that neighborhood. One was an Uber driver. One, well, I guess it could be a person walking their dog from a car. I guess it could be a kid visiting his girlfriend, parking a mile away from her home. I guess it could be a man taking out his trash to the neighbors around the corner. Maybe that's why they drove. They put the garbage in their car and wanted to dump it in their lawn. Maybe. We do have the Uber driver. We knew about the Uber driver, so that's one. The construction worker. Maybe the construction worker wanted to get some exercise and decided to park, a quarter mile away from the entrance of the construction site he was working at, and decided to walk to the construction site. Maybe that's the reason why the dogs followed the scent. Maybe it was just a construction worker trying to get a little bit of extra steps in his day. How about a trash truck driver? Maybe it was an infamous, a weird trash truck that wanted to go and do some spins in the neighborhood before they came back. Maybe they wanted to count the trash cans before the other trash truck came to pick it up. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe it was a dump truck driver. I mean, maybe they have the abilities to be, what are those things? The transformers. Maybe the dump truck had the ability to transform into a smaller vehicle. The Transformers are real. We saw them on the big screen. Has to be. But nope. It's got to be those stinky old Miss Bobby's children that were lying in wait I guess they decided to drive the car from her house to that corner to lie in wait. Maybe? Maybe it was the newspaper boy. Maybe the newspaper boy. Maybe he pulled his car up there and got out and ran across the common area because he had one newspaper he needed to deliver at the Proudfoot home. I don't know. Maybe that's it. Because you know what it couldn't be? It couldn't be somebody there to pick up a child at 3 a.m., 3 hours before he disappeared, and flashlights going back, one lone flashlight going back to his house, and only one lone person woke up in the house. But I mean, it's got to be the paper boy. It's got to be the paper boy or the transformer. I'm still kind of on the fence with the transformer. We know they exist. They go right, and they go from walking to a vehicle and start racing. Maybe you know what? Maybe they turned it into Talladega Nights. Maybe it was just a whole bunch of people in the neighborhood trying to see which vehicle runs faster. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Hey, Laura, it's nice to see you, love. Nani, Maria, Caroline, Teresa, good morning. It's got to be that. Let's be honest. We know it's the Transformers. We know it's the Transformers. We know that they break into people's houses, right? We saw the Transformer where he came up and tapped on the kid's window and said, come on, we got to go. We remember that, right? It's the Transformers. That's why we can't find Sebastian. The Transformers got him. Now, if you're an Eskimo, I've got this amazing ice. It is the best ice in the world. You don't have ice like this. This ice is going to cost you $1 million, Eskimos, but I promise you it's going to be worth every penny. Please send your... No. I got ice to sell you. So kind of there's my presentation for everything that we've had. It looks like we've made we didn't quite make for our sense of goal. We didn't meet our goal to turn on the phones, but I am gracious and grateful for every single person that has contributed this morning. I will tell you, maybe around 1:30, we have kind of a light show. It's because I'm not filling it in with a whole bunch of news because we have very specific topics to talk about at 1:30. And I may open the phones up there, or I may do a special show later tonight to open up the phones to discuss this 3 a.m. call. So you guys are going to, even though we didn't meet our goal, you guys are going to still be able to express your opinions on this case and on this 3 a.m. lights. But if we do something like that, it's going to be around 5 o'clock this afternoon. So once I'm done with my 3 o'clock show, I'll let you know whether we're going to do that tomorrow or excuse me, do that tonight, or we're going to wait until tomorrow. I may just open up because tomorrow's Friday. It's going to be Friday, TGIF. I may just open up the phone lines in the morning to have conversations. Let me ask you guys, would somebody, if possible, because maybe this will be able to help the channel a little better. One thing I do is when I'm presenting, it's hard for me to read the chat. So maybe we'll designate somebody to come up here and grab important chat stuff that we can talk about on a daily. So I want you guys to think about, who would like to come up here with me daily. We'll need at least 3 people. I'll be pulling up 1 per day, but in case somebody can't be here, we need to have, or somebody's sick or can't be on the show or something like that, I need to have at least 3 people and put them in 1, 2, and 3. Not that the third person is not good or anything like that, but We do have the ability to bring up several people on the show. If I can bring up more than one and have a discussion or a debate, I'm happy to do that. But it's got to be somebody that we know, love, and trust that can manage the chat live on the show with me. If you'd like to be that person, please reach out to bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I just need some help managing the chat so we're not missing good conversation pieces, because I feel like when I go back, there's a lot of people's statements and questions that I would have loved to have gotten while I was live. But because of the nature of the beast, I've got a lot of stuff to present. I got a lot of stuff to put together for you. A co-host. That's it. Perfect. Yeah, a co-host to help me make sure that your voices are acknowledged. I know you guys have chats and you guys talk amongst each other in the chat, but there's just some things that I wish that we could bring to the channel that is missed because I'm presenting. So I'll let you guys think about that. We may vote depending on how many people apply. But it's going to be like kind of a co-host type of thing. And your only job really is to monitor the chat and make sure that if there's any questions on a specific topic, that we have them and we can discuss them. So, and I think that would be the middle ground for everybody, because to be honest with you, I just can't do it. I don't know how people that can read the chat and run the show. You guys have a gift Bullhorn Betty doesn't have. Okay, I can run the show and capture a couple of the comments and we'll discuss them, but I know there's a lot more. I know. I think later today or tomorrow we'll do the vote on the Transformers. We'll see if the vehicle's a Transformer. We're gonna put it to the vote. We're gonna put it to the people, y'all. We're gonna put it to the people. Power to the people up in here. All right, guys. I love you. God bless. Rock it out today. We will be back. We have a 1:30 scheduled on the Bullhorn Betty. Oh, thank you, Teresa. God bless you. On the Bullhorn Betty crime stories side. And we've got a lot to talk about. And the topics of discussion, we're going to limit. I know I bring true crime news to you. We haven't done our daily news segment for a couple of days. And I know that a lot of you guys are really enjoying that time. It's a smaller show. We don't have 400 people in there. We have maybe 150 or under. And I really get to have communication with you guys more one-on-one than I do with a show that's full. And we're going to be talking about the unaliving of a girlfriend and an 11-year-old boy. We were told in the original reports that this 11-year-old boy was the woman's son. I'm learning today, it appears that this 11-year-old boy was the assailant's son. We have more information on the Kunaki case, the Diksha Kunaki. She was the Penn State student that went to the Dominican Republic, and something happened and she disappeared. And the person she was with has come under heavy fire. And we're talking about a case that I have been monitoring but haven't talked much about. We have touched on it over the last few months, but we haven't gone into it. And it's the case of Nikki Chang McCain. And we're going to be discussing her case this afternoon, along with the press conference, and analyzing her ex-spouse or her separated spouse, the one she was about to go to court the very next day before she disappeared, related to a domestic violence hearing. And we all know when a woman is leaving a domestic violence situation, that is the most lethal of it. But she went a little step further. She wanted to hold him accountable for what he was doing to her. And she was doing it the right way by pressing charges. And she was supposed to be there, and she wasn't. So we've got a lineup of some really good cases that I'd like to break down for you guys at 1:30. If you guys are interested in those cases, please meet me over at the Bullhorn Betty crime story side, and we will start rolling these out and having a detailed conversation, because over there I can do my stories and read the chat, because like I said, it's not as demanding as this channel. So did I just see somebody saying hi to Justin for all? Justin, it's nice to see you, my love. I hope you are having a wonderful Thursday and an even better tomorrow on TGIF. So all of my beautiful content creators in here, I just wanted to show you some love and make sure that people that are here for true crime go to true crime channels, because drama is not what we are about. All right, guys, God bless you. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe. But more important, say it with me, kind to one another. So make it a great day. Be blessed. And don't let people rent space in your head. From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you. God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims.